Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the School of Science. My name is Luke, and this is the post-match reaction for Southampton versus Everton. Southampton 1, Everton 0. Now, I've got some notes here as well, so we're doing this a little bit better than normal. Okay, so this was a poor performance. It was far from our worst, but it was certainly a poor performance from Everton today. Dyche's game management was subpar, and his subs were questionable at best. The starting 11 and choice as well, that was kind of hit and miss. It was decent, don't get me wrong, but Harrison myself should have started over Lindstrom. Yeah, right. So Southampton, although they're not a great team, they certainly. They're not your Real Madrid. They're not your Barcelona. They're not like that. They're not a Man City either. But the one thing they can do really well is they can play the basics. They know how to move with the ball really well. They can play a simple game of football really, really well. And they know where the net is as well. That's another one. Yeah. On top of that, Calvert-Lewin as well. He was very hot and cold today. The more he plays, I'll be honest, over the course of the season, the more I feel he's more of a, like a midfielder, like a number 10 or even a number 8 sometimes, rather than a centre forward. The only thing is, as well, on top of that, is his ability with the ball at his feet is kind of championship quality. As weird as it sounds, it is kind of championship quality. Who else? McNeil, he had his moments in the game where he was actually a little bit threatening, but for the most part, he was kind of off the boil. And Mangala was another one as well. Mangala, he was actually good today. He had a lot of hard-hitting challenges. Him and Idrissa Gueye really did actually do well in that midfield. Anytime the Southampton team actually tried to move up that midfield, the two of them were there to try and put a stop to it in a way. They tried to cut out the play. They tried to interrupt any flow that Southampton had. They did well in that regard. On top of that, the one person I don't think I very often actually sing the praises of, and to be honest, it's only recently he started coming into his stride a little bit, Michael Keane. So he had an alright game, didn't do too much to stand out, but I feel like he should have scored. In the second half, he should have definitely scored. The attempt he had where Ramsdale actually sort of palmed the ball out and he was able to get onto it. I feel like he should have got that into the net rather than trying to shoulder barge the goalposts. But he didn't have a bad game. He actually he defended reasonably well alongside Tarkowski. It does look like Tarkowski's actually getting quite comfortable with him as well. Tarkowski of all people as well. One of the moments Southampton had a quick free kick, and his decision. He was very fortunate not to get a red card, in all honesty. He basically took out the player altogether, and it could have been seen as a malicious tackle. Now, the fact that he was going for the ball rather than him intentionally going for the player did actually save him from that. Sorry, I just need to have a quick drink. My throat's a bit dry at the moment. But yeah, as I was saying, yeah, we were very fortunate not to see Tarkowski get a red card. But yeah, from there though, so pretty much first half was a fairly lax sort of thing. It was a lax affair. We were hitting them. We were trying to get past them. But Ramsdale didn't have too much to do. Pickford didn't have too much to do. It was pretty much 18-yard. It was basically 18-yard box to 18-yard box sort of play. We were having to go with them. They were having to go with us. They had a good chunk of the game where they had possession. We utilised our possession a little bit better, I found. But we just weren't able to, try and burst the nets. They came fairly close as well near the end of the first half. Ball came across. Pickford's got a palm to it and put it wide. Only for one of their players. Was sort of the wrong side of the ball. If they were probably about 3 or 4 steps back. Who was it? I'm not sure. There was Armstrong or Archer. They actually had a moment there where they could actually have hit the ball. Because of, if they were a few steps back, they would have actually had a nice clean-cut chance at the ball. But yeah, second half was kind of second, how can I put it? Second verse, same as the first, as we can put it. We didn't do too much. It was up until about the 50th, 60th minute. I do think Dyche was actually going to do a sub of DCL for Beto during half time, but I don't know what stopped him from doing it. Whether it was the coaches saying, don't you dare. Whether it was he forgot that he put it on paper and gave it to the fourth official. There was so many ways. I don't know. But around the 55th, 60th minute, Beto came on and swapped DCL, which was an interesting choice. And so was taking on main attacking threat as well in Illiman and Dye. And Dye actually has a reasonably decent game. He took on about 3 or 4 of their players. He did really well. And it took them basically axing him down to try and stop him from getting movements. Likewise with Mikalenko. Him and Mikalenko seem to have a little bit of a decent, relationship at the moment. So they understand where each other are. So when Illiman's on the run up, chances are you're going to see Mikalenko not far behind him. Or if Ndai has got the ball from the midfield, from the middle of the park, there's a good chance Mikalenko will go charging up as well to try and be that outlet for him. So seeing him getting taken off for Harrison, I feel like that was kind of the wrong move. In my personal opinion, I would have thought the best option would have been to taking McNeil off for Harrison and telling Ndai to basically get in the middle. And from there, you pretty much have it. So you'd have Harrison in his natural left wing position. You would have had Ndai in his number 10 position, which he likes to do from now and then. But I think he seems to have gained a bit of preference for that left wing because he seems to have a bit more, as weird as it sounds, the restriction of that sideline gives him a little bit more freedom and a little bit more of an ability to sort of use the ball in a way as weird as it sounds. I'm trying to make sense out of the madness that is Ndai. He is somehow controlled chaos the way he moves with that ball. It's just unnatural. But yeah, so you also have Harrison on the left, Ndai in the middle, and Lyncham on the right. That would have been probably the better option of the two. But yeah. And then from there, you could have even have said, you know what, we're going to keep Calvert-Lewin on rather than taking him off for Beto and say, Mangala, you've had a good run, mate, but we're going to try something a little bit different here. And Beto is going to be the point man, and DCL would have sat just behind him as either a second striker or as a secondary number 10 in a way. But yeah, so speaking of Beto, when Beto came on, he did have a bit of a tough game. With him being the lone striker, he became basically the focal point for Southampton's defence, and any time in open play, when he had the ball, either he was basically manhandled by the defence or he was swarmed. He did have a good opportunity though from a set piece, so he actually got a cross in, got a solid head to it, and pretty much dented the crossbar. But unfortunately, he also set up Southampton's counter-attack as well. And unfortunate goal as well from Armstrong. So from there, it became a bit of a moment of, okay, we seem to have a little bit of a grasp of the game, to, oh crap, we've got no grasp of the game anymore. They're winning. We need to get something back. And we had a few moments where we actually tried. We did try, don't get me wrong. As I said, the McNeil attempt, we had an attempt there. And one that I think could be put to a bit of controversy would be Beto's second goal. Well, his second attempted goal. It was basically the 88th minute. So long ball up. Beto was able to beat the back line. He got the ball down. And Ramsdale came out, basically spread-eagled himself to make himself look as big as possible. And from there, Beto, rather than just slamming it, placed it just past him to get it into the net. And then when it went to VAR, we all were panicking, to say the very least, because as you know, when it comes to VAR, it's not, can we make sure that was a decent goal? Well, not a decent goal. Can we make sure he was onside to, can we make sure he was offside? That's how VAR seems to be played at the moment. I do personally think when it comes to offside decisions and anything like that, they need to scrap the person and go to the AI. There is a really good artificial intelligence system there now that could be used for this. We could put all this to bed I mean, even in the interim, before you put that into place, I think what they need to do is they need to say, right, the official who is doing the VAR, they have 20 seconds to make that offside decision, because that seems to be one of the most common decisions when it comes to VAR. They have 20 seconds to make that decision. If they cannot make that decision, then the on-field decision should stand. Now, that could be manipulated to favour other teams. So we know, well, my major suspicion is that referees have got preferred teams when it comes to the Premier League. They could also have regional biases as well. As weird as that sounds, there is regional bias there. Now, I'm from Liverpool. Let's say, for argument's sake, give us a good example. If I was a referee, and bear in mind, when I was a teenager, I actually did one of my refereeing courses. And they basically drum it into you, don't be biased, go with what you feel. But you cannot rule out subconscious things. So let's say, for argument's sake, I was a referee and I was refereeing Manchester United versus Arsenal. We'll say that, Manchester United versus Arsenal. Man U have a break on goal, they score, and the decision itself is hit and miss. We say Marcus Rashford, he had broken that back line, and my assistant on the line says, I think he might have been offside. Now, even though I should show no bias, I do have a bit of a dislike towards Man United versus Arsenal. So I might turn around and go, actually, yeah, you're right, it was offside, I think it was offside. And I would go, no, offside. That's the subconscious. I know we can't say that. We can't say that the Premier League's corrupt or anything like that anymore. We can't say all that rubbish because it's not meant to be corrupt. It's meant to be a very fair system that's meant to favour all 20 teams that come into the Premier League. They're all meant to have an equal share and an equal say in the Premier League. It is definitely not loads of bollocks ran by 6 massive teams that seem to try and get everything favoured towards them. Case in point being the FA Cup replays getting scrapped. Because we know for a fact that the teams in the lower divisions, they thrive on potential replays. So if you're, let's say for argument's sake, Lincoln City, and you're taking on Tottenham Hotspur, you play Tottenham at your ground, you will not get much in terms of revenue from that. You would then, pretty much from there, you'd hold out for a draw so that you can get the replay. The replay being at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, you can get a much larger amount of capacity there. More fans are in there. You get more of a slice of the pie from that. You get more of a benefit from that, and that helps you a lot more. If anyone wants to argue against that, please do in the comments as well. But yeah, case in point, I have gone completely off topic. I'm gonna give you my final thoughts. So, at the end of the day, we all know what it's like following Everton. We face a team that is yet to win, and we as fans always have that gut feeling that they're going to snatch the win from us somehow, and this game to an extent was like that. I'm not someone who blames a manager for poor player performance, but in this situation, the players seem to be playing tactics that seem to be about 10 leagues below our standards. We are honestly one-dimensional. When we're attacking, how can I put this? We basically give the ball to Pickford, he'll launch upfield to DCL, who will either lose it to the tall defender, get it to his feet and get pickpocketed, or he'll get it to his feet and then it goes backwards to a midfielder. That'll be either McNeil, Ndai, Idrissa Gueye, Urbana when he's playing, or Mangala. And usually from there, that gives the opposition time to pretty much swarm their midfield again, cut us out, and then it has to go back, wash, rinse, repeat. And we will go nowhere with it, I'll be honest. Them sort of tactics, we're going to go nowhere from it. It feels like our only hope for scoring is from a set-piece play, because our squad is 90% height, And if you don't believe me, I kid you not, look at the team. Beto, Calvert-Lewin, James Sarkowski, Jake O'Brien, Jared Branthwaite, Michael Keane. Most of our squad is easily 6 foot plus. Now bear in mind, the average height for a person, especially in the UK, is about 5'8" to 5'9". So if anyone was to turn around and say to me, oh no, but when it comes to football, the average height's this. Nah, I'm not falling for that one. Your average height, I think even in football, I think it's not that high. I think it's only about, I think it is probably under 6 foot. So we've got players who are above average in height. But I'm going to leave it at that. I'm gonna leave this all to you lot. What do you think went wrong today, and where do you think we go from here? Put it in the comment section below. I want to hear from you. I really do appreciate your feedback. And if you liked it, you know what to do. Hit the like button down below. If you want to, again, offer feedback, put it in the comments below. If you want to share this with someone, if you want to have a little conversation with them, want to start an argument with them saying, I think this lad's wrong. I think this lad's right. This lad said different to you. You said different to this lad. Do it. You're more than welcome to share this. Share it across social media. Do what you want with it. I do appreciate any and all feedback and all. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys have a great weekend. The next Bramley Moore video is going to be out Monday morning. I'm going to be getting out there either early tomorrow morning or at some point tomorrow afternoon. It's a bit of a busy weekend for me this weekend. Been to boxing this morning, helping my mum move house. Tomorrow I've got football, playing football, as you know. Captain Mr. Two Left Feet here. I've got football tomorrow, and then I'm going to carry on helping my mum move her house, and then I'll probably get the drone up in the afternoon. I'll have to make sure that the weather's decent enough for it. But yeah, guys, again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a decent weekend. I know it's not going to be a great one just based on that result. But let's put that behind us, try and dust ourselves down and move on. That's all we can do, really. So yeah, anyway, take care, have a great weekend, and peace.